What's going on, guys? Roger here, and over the last couple weeks, especially after Anaheim, a lot of people have been asking me, what camera do you use? What lenses do you use? What do you bring to events? What should I get? All this different kind of stuff. So I figured today would be a good chance to show you guys exactly what is inside my bag, what gear I use at events, what I use around the house, all that different kind of stuff. So let's hop in. So first up, we have the backpack. This is the EGL Flight backpack. They just came out with it, and it has a lot of different slots and also customizable options for you to choose from, which has been absolutely amazing, especially when you're bringing a bunch of different kinds of gear to the event. I will throw the link to this down in the description, as well as everything else I talk about today. I will say, little disclaimer, be cautious that your gear is compatible, especially like the lenses that I talk about today. They're only gonna be compatible on Samsung cameras, but you can find different variations of them on Amazon for Canons, Sonys, Nikons, etc. So definitely check this out, and as well as the other links down as I talk about them. So the first lens we're going to talk about is actually the Rokinon 12mm f2. Absolutely amazing for establishing shots because it is so wide. You can show so much information in one shot, so you can tell the story and tell the viewer, you know, exactly where in a city, or you know, in a building, or a side station, or a main stage, like where exactly in the venue you are. And then second up on our list is also a Rokinon lens. It's an 85 1.4, so it's a really fast lens, 1.4, which means you're gonna get a lot of awesome bokeh, which is kind of like blurry lights in the background, while in the foreground you have like whatever you want, like your subject in focus. As well, it's an 85mm, so it's a little bit longer reach, which means, you know, you can be back a little bit farther. You don't have to bother the player while they're, you know, they're playing their game, because obviously, you know, you want to make it as far in the bracket, you don't want to distract your players, so you can get a little bit more range out of it, and get like really good close-up, so you don't have to be like right in the player's face, which is really amazing. And because it is 1.4, you know, you get a little bit extra light in there because the aperture is so wide, which is absolutely amazing. Like, especially when it comes to color grading, 85 1.4, highly recommend. And then third up on our list, we have this 18-55 Samsung. It's actually the only native lens I own for my camera body, which is the Samsung NX1. And it's pretty good. I always like having one zoom lens in my kit. Usually how I like to do it is I have a wide angle, which is my 12mm, a long range, it's not super long range, but it's at least something, my 85 1.4, and then we have this zoom lens, which is my 18-55, so I get a little bit more depth that way. I really don't use this one at events that often, just because it is a 3.5, which means it's not a super fast lens, and it's not like a super wide aperture. So lighting is gonna be a little tricky with this, but usually if I go outside or I'm in really good lighting situations, sometimes I'll throw this on. Actually looks really good. And then last up on the list is actually the lens I have on my camera right now, which is a Sigma 30 1.4 Art. Absolutely amazing glass inside this prime lens. It's 30mm, so you know, you get a little bit of range out of it, but it's not gonna be super wide. And it's also 1.4, so you're gonna be able to get a lot of light into the sensor, which makes it really good for low light situations, and honestly, why my Anaheim video looks so clean, especially when it came to the color correcting. Because at the end of the day, the better light you get, and the better your footage looks, the easier it's gonna be to color correct later. So this Sigma 30 1.4 Art is absolutely amazing for that. This one's the crop one, but they do have a 35 1.4 Art, which is a full frame lens, which is absolutely amazing for cameras like the 6D, the Sony a7S, all that different kind of stuff. And like I said, I'm gonna throw all the links down in the description for you guys to check out. As far as the camera I use the Samsung NX1. It's absolutely amazing, and you know, it's gotten to me where I am today, but there are definitely better cameras out there. Like the 6D does really well, the Sony a63 and 6500 do really well, and also like the a7S Mark II. It's a little bit more expensive, but it's an amazing camera. So I'll throw all those links down in the description, as well as cameras that I would recommend. But everyone always asks me, what's the camera I should get when first starting out? And usually I just stick to the default T5i, but the Canon 6D is also, it's a little bit more expensive. It's around $1,000, but honestly, it's a full frame camera, DSLR, which is going to be absolutely amazing for event footage. So I'd say honestly save up a little bit more money, go after something like a 6D, maybe get an a6300, something like that, because that's around like the same price, and it also has 4K internal, as well as the low light, and Sony's have been absolutely amazing lately. So I'd say the 6D or the a6300, they're around $1,000 a piece, are like good starter ones, but if you want to go a little bit more budget, the T5i will do just as well. And then as far as support goes, I actually have this Manfrotto monopod, knob, which has been absolutely amazing. It has these little feet that kick in and out, so you can like put your camera down if you're trying to do something and then pick your camera back up. It's mounted to the top, as well as it has these 3 extensions on it, so you can go up to like 6.5 feet or something like that with this. Absolutely amazing. I will say, when you have a camera on it and it is a little off balance, it will tilt a little bit to the side, which is a little unfortunate, but honestly, like while I'm shooting, it doesn't make my arms that tired because I can kind of just plop it down. I can keep my hand on the monopod while I'm shooting, trying to get a shot. Like if I'm waiting for a reaction, but it takes like 5 minutes for them to do it, I don't want to sit there like this for 5 minutes trying to get the shot, keeping my hand still. This helps out a lot, and also takes up a lot less space than a tripod. You don't have to fold it out. And honestly, like usually when someone goes to an event, you can kind of tell if they're new, if they have like a tripod, they're walking around with it. This helps out so much. It is a little on the pricey side, but you can get ones that don't have these little kick out legs from Manfrotto for like $60. This one specifically was $200. So like I said, a little on the pricey side, but it's durable. It has a lot of weight to it. So it also kind of works as like, not a steady cam exactly, because a lot of steady cams, it's basically this with like weights down at the bottom where, if it's heavier, it's not going to, shake a whole lot, but it has some weight to it. So it does help, getting a little bit, more stable shots, which is also kind of a plus that no one really tells you about this thing. So yeah, absolutely amazing, support system. So we're gonna dive right into the bag. When you open it up, it basically flips out like this. The top pouch I use for a lot of important stuff, like a journal with my shot list. I have like my passport, some like extra stuff up here, like chapstick and different like things like that. When you go down to the next flap, this is usually where I keep my lenses, because it has like 2 little fold out pouches here, which are absolutely amazing for, holding lenses, because they're like the perfect size for them. And then you go down to these 2 little net sections, which have my batteries for like my Rode mic, as well as some like other gear, the lav mic setup. And then down here in the second one is where I keep all my camera batteries for the actual camera body, which is absolutely amazing because I have a lot of batteries, so that holds that really well. And then you go down to the next section, which has these little pouches where I put, external chargers for my phone, my camera, all that different kind of stuff, as well as some other cables. And I have a lens that sits right here, my 18-55, just in case I need it. And you have this big pouch, which is usually where I keep all my audio. So I have a Rode VideoMic Pro and also a Rode VideoMic Go shotgun mic. The Go is a backup. The Pro is what I usually use for events, just because you don't get any hiss, because it is internally powered by a battery rather than trying to pull power from your camera, which that's what the Go does. As well as I have this little light that I use to bring to events. Obviously, I don't bring these giant lights to events with me. I just bring this little guy, which is actually, really useful, if I need to use it for like a backlight or a fill light or a spotlight or anything like that. If I'm doing an interview or I'm trying to get something inside the venue and the venue's really dark, this helps out a lot. I don't use it a whole lot, but if we do interviews on like the Go, this is like an absolute amazing beast of a light. It outputs quite a bit, and it takes these batteries that go in the back. And they last a long time. I've never replaced the batteries in the back of this. I've had this thing for like a year. It's only on like 1 bar now, but yeah, it's absolute beast. As well as these little gels that I can put inside to get different colors for the little lights. And then next up, we have the big pouch, which this actually fits a 15-inch MacBook Pro, which is a beast, because that's a huge computer and it fits all inside this bag, which this bag is actually like absolutely amazing. We just got these in and I switched from my old bag over to this. And yeah, I think I'm gonna be using this at events from now on, because it holds so much stuff. And I was cramming my old bag full of stuff. Like on my old bag, I couldn't have the camera body inside here, or I couldn't have my camera body inside my bag because I didn't have enough space, so I would carry it through the airport. But with this bag, I can actually, tuck it away and not have to worry about it, which is like super useful. Another thing that I really didn't touch on a whole lot is I'm actually using an Audio-Technica lav setup. It's a wireless lav setup that is absolutely amazing. I've been using it for most of my interviews lately, as well as some other little things at events, because you can put it down on the desk, walk away, and you can still get the audio from like 50 feet away.
Rail, front foot, weak. Two by rail, two middle. Yeah, front foot, watch my jump.
Actually works a lot better than like a shotgun mic, for instance, in that specific scenario, I will say. So yeah, this thing is an absolute beast. I highly recommend one. As far as storage space, I always bring a Western Digital 1 terabyte hard drive to every event, so at the end of every day, I can just take my footage, upload it to that, and I usually make 2 different copies in different folders, just in case one gets corrupted, I have a backup, and I format my cards at the end of every night, just so I can start off fresh. I don't have to worry about space. I used to use a 256 gig SD card, but it started dying on me slowly over time. So now I have 2 64 gig SD cards, which are absolutely amazing. It's nice to have 2, honestly, because I can pop one in, take it out, pop in the other, edit some photos on one SD card, and then switch back and forth. Super useful. Sometimes it can get a little confusing. I recommend, if you're shooting for the first time, stay very organized, only use one card. But you know, it's always nice to have backup SD cards just in case one craps out on you. You can always rely on the other one. Anyway, that's it. That's all the gear that I usually bring to events, as well as what I use here at home. It's absolutely amazing. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys next time. Peace out, guys.